Brenda Lewis, who sang the role of Bertie and later the role of Regina in Blitzstein's opera, was a very close friend of his, and he was working on a piece at her home near the end of his life, which he told her was to be his magnum opus. In fact, she said everything he ever wrote was just preparation for Sacco and Vanzetti. It took 25 years to finish this opera because he left so many sketches but so little music, and his libretto sketches were in so many different places, works about Sacco and Vanzetti that he was annotating. We're going to hear 3 excerpts from it. The first is an aria sung by Sacco. Now, Sacco and Vanzetti, how many people do not know who Sacco and Vanzetti were? A few people, okay. Sacco and Vanzetti were anarchist Italian immigrants who were convicted of a crime they did not commit, robbery and a murder. It was a mistaken identity, and they were railroaded through because of their political beliefs from 1920 until 1927, when they were executed by the state of Massachusetts. In 1977, on the close to the 50th anniversary of their execution, Massachusetts Governor Michael Dukakis issued a proclamation saying that no stigma should be attached to their names or those of their family, and he exonerated them. There's some debate now as to exactly what he did, but he told me personally on June 19, 2001, that he had exonerated them because if he had pardoned them, that would have meant they were guilty, and they weren't. And Marc Blitzstein knew that. He'd met with some of the lawyers and done a tremendous amount of research. Some people still say that Sacco might have been guilty. It's ridiculous. They were not guilty. This aria, with a woman-to-be, is sung by Sacco in prison longing for his wife. It's the only piece from the opera that Blitzstein completed in its entirety, and it was performed by Luigi Alva on that memorial concert that Blitzstein conducted in April 1964. It was sung for us by Pedro Arroyo, and then in the third group, he will also sing Sacco in a trio with Alexander Wilson singing Vanzetti, and with Rachel Wood singing Sacco's wife in a prison visit. I'll tell you a little bit about how that came about, that trio. Helene and I were in Italy visiting the graves and the families of Sacco and Vanzetti, and Marc Blitzstein wrote a piece called The Hills of Amalfi as part of his unsuccessful musical Reuben, which takes place in Little Italy, but never got there. It opened and closed in Boston. This wonderful tune, The Hills of Amalfi, was ringing through my head as we took the train from Villa Valletta to Torre Maggiore and passed through Amalfi. And then I said, hey, this will fit. The Hills of Amalfi, Villa Valletta, Torre Maggiore. And I wrote this duet for Sacco and his wife to sing. And Helene and I premiered it in Torre Maggiore in an audience for Sacco's niece. And the whole town came back. It was, and then I decided to put that into the opera as not just a duet between the two of them, but also Vanzetti in the next cell over. Now, Mary Donovan is a character, actually she's a real person, who was the secretary of the Sacco Vanzetti Defense Committee in Boston. And I got a hold of a speech that she gave. It's in the novel Boston by Upton Sinclair. Although it's a novel, he did primary research and got real material that actually happened. And so this speech is something that she actually said, and she was Irish, so I adapted a song from Juno and changed it a little bit. So you're going to hear With a Woman to Be, this aria in prison, sort of like Il Lucido and la Stella, I think, of Sacco. And then Mary Donovan's speech to a rally in support of Sacco Vanzetti, and then we'll hear the Torre Maggiore Villa Falletto trio of Sacco, Rosa, and Vanzetti in the next song.